So you want to learn how to create this creepy no face effect inside of After Effects, then stick around because I'm about to break it down step by step in this tutorial. This is a sick effect that you can use on your music videos, but also in just your edits in general. So I'll show you how you can create it and also spice it up in a few different ways. But that's enough yap, and let's hop right into After Effects. So to create this effect, the main thing that you need is a main clip with your subject in place, and you really don't want anything covering your subject's face. So like right here, when you can see the flame covers his face, I guess I'll just cut out this one frame. So if they have something covering their face, I would recommend that you skip that scene and go for another one. And then I'll grab one frame like this one right here when I can see his face pretty clearly and he isn't moving too much, because that will be a little bit blurry. And then I'll duplicate my clip and grab this pen tool right here, and let's cut this clip and freeze the frame. So now I have this frame stuck right here, and I'll drag it back. And what I'll do with this frame is I'll set quality to full first, and then I'll mask out a part of his face, like this part right here, because it has some good lighting right there. And then what I'll do is I'll size it up, and I can actually set my anchor point to the middle of this mask. So just select the clip, click Y on your keyboard, and set the anchor point right there. And then when you've done that, it's easier to size it up and things like that. And now that you have this spot masked out right here, click M on your keyboard twice real quick, and we can add some feather into this, just like that. And then all that's really left to do is duplicate this, rotate it to the other side, and then we can have it here. Then we can drag out the mask a little bit, and then we can copy this mask once again, put it down here, but we gotta trim it so it fits his face, just like this. So now we have this going on, and of course it doesn't look the best as of right now. So what we can do if we want it to look a little bit better is we can hide two of our layers, and I'll just grab this one right here and I'll remove the mask. And then what I'll do is I'll mask out another part of his face, because this one has a little bit of a different lighting, so his forehead, and I'll just mask it out like that. And now we have a different part of his face to work with, and we can add more of a feather onto this one, just like this, and then size it down. And then when we unhide both of those, we can put this one like on his eyes. That looks good. So now you can see we're getting more of that creepy style in here. Yeah, that's good. Now we just need a third one down here. We can maybe put it underneath the forehead one right here, just like that. So now it's looking really creepy. We can actually move this one up a little bit like that. Now this is good. I'm pretty happy with this. Only thing I'm not really happy with is this one right here, which I need to rotate like that, and then just put right here. But when you've covered the whole face, then you're pretty much done. So now what we need to do is I'll select all of my clips, click P on my keyboard and keyframe the position. So now with all of my clips selected, I'll go in like 2 frames and then move his face just like this. And then go in 2 frames once again, move his face. And if you want to, you can pre-compose all of these, but I think that we'll need to do some changes whenever he moves, because he's probably going to move closer to the camera as the scene plays through. And then it will just be a lot easier to do those changes to the mask when we have everything in the same composition. But like right here, we would really need to zoom it out. So I'll right click, go to new, and create the new null object. Then I'll select all of these layers and parent them to the null object. And I'll set the null object like right here in the middle, and then we can scale it down. And that's just because it's a lot easier to do that compared to messing with the scale right here. It will basically mess everything up. So that's the way that I'm going to do that. So like right here, I think I'm going to scale it down just a tiny bit, because he does move further away from the camera. So like 97. And then I'll select the position for all of these, make sure that it fits good, and I think it does. Now I need to mess with the position back here as well. Okay, so as you see right here, the mask isn't really lined up correctly. So right here, I will size it down a little bit more. And then we can also mess with the mask. So for this one at the top, we can keyframe the mask path and move it like 2-3 frames in. So right there, it's supposed to stay like that. But for here, we can mess with the mask and line it up correctly. Maybe even mess a little bit with the individual position. Just drag it up a little bit. And then here it keeps moving further away from the camera, so I'll need to size it down even more. Okay, so as of right now, this is what we got. And it looks decent a little bit. There are some parts like right here where it doesn't look good, and I'll just mess with the position to fix that. And here you can see my masks are too big. So all I need to do is really just size them down. And now you most likely want to spice up this effect a little bit more. So we can start off with something like a shake. And to do that, I'll use my VFX Kit plugin, which is honestly, in my opinion, the best VFX plugin for music video editors, because we have these 7 different tabs in here, and all you need to do is open one of the tabs, and you have these live previews of every single effect, as well as the search bar. So let's say that I want a subtle shake. I just search up subtle, I can't spell, but here I have the subtle vertical shake, and I'll just apply it onto the adjustment layer. And there are 2 versions of this plugin. We have the default version, which doesn't require any third-party plugins, and we have the add-on version, which does require Sapphire. So this is what it looks like with the subtle vertical shake. And just like this, we have the subtle vertical shake in place. And I think I want to spice up the flicker a little bit more because I just got an idea. I'll keyframe it like right here around 10 frames, and then I'll turn it up a lot, like to 1.5. So I have this really intense flicker. And when the flicker goes dark, I'll cut my masks right here, and then remove them for like 2-3 frames, so his face will be back, and then we can keep that going. So for the first frames right here, his face can be in the scene, and then it disappears, and then it comes back just like this. And then you can mess with the seed for the flicker as well. So like if you want it to become dark right here, then you just keyframe the seed and then mess with the seed until it becomes dark, like just like this, and then it becomes dark here once again. Then when it becomes bright, I want the face to be back just for a few frames, just like that. I'm pretty happy with this effect now. I'll do a few more final tweaks just to spice it up a little bit more. Like we can add on a CC vignette effect, and we'll turn up the amount and set the center to the face just to add like this dramatic look. And I'll set the angle of view to 50 as well, and we can keyframe the center just pretty subtle, so it just follows the face a little bit like this, and then just like this. So it doesn't really have to be tracked to the face, just make sure that it follows the face. And we can go for something like a directional blur as well when the face switches. So I'll turn it up to like 130 at the blur length, and we'll just do something real quick from 0 to 130 back down to 0 for just 1 frame. We can add the motion blur to that as well. So when it goes dark, we'll have this effect come in as well, and we'll do it for a few of those. So right there, and then here as well. And that's a sick effect. If you'd add some camera movements to this as well, like just zoom into the face or something like that, I'm sure you'll get a sick result. So what I'll do is I'll remove the transform from my zoom effect, and instead I'll add on this transform to zoom in on the face instead. So I'll keyframe the scale and the position and just zoom in on the face like 10 frames in, and then we'll basically just track the face. I'll turn down the scale a little bit, just like this, and then just make sure that you are tracking it and following it. As long as you keep the face in the middle, it should look good. And I'll use this flow plugin to create a graph for the zoom in, and I'll do a graph that looks something like this. So pretty quick in the beginning and then slows down to get a smooth look. Now my clip is in a pretty weird format with this kind of square, so I'll add on a motion tile underneath that as well, just to hide those black edges right here. And I think I need to add it to this adjustment layer instead, just like this. So I'm pretty happy with what I got right now. It's a really sick effect, and I'll just add one final tweak to make it look perfect, and that is a radial blur. And I think I'll add it underneath all of the effects. So on a completely new adjustment layer, it's not necessarily needed to have this many adjustment layers, but it's just the way that I work. I'll set the amount to 5, and once again set the middle of the center to your subject. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly tracked, but at least make it decent. So like here at the start, up to the face, pause, and then keep moving it to the middle of his face. And I forgot to track the center because I'm slow, but yeah, you pretty much know what to do. And boom, just like that, we're done. This is the final effect. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. I'm pretty happy with this effect. It turned out sick as fuck. So make sure to do a like, subscribe. I'll have the VFX kit link in the description, as well as all of my other products. I forgot to mention, but I run the State Creator Store where we have preset packs and plugins for After Effects and Premiere Pro users. So feel free to check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.